Okay. So off stream, I did a couple things. I unlocked a couple of dungeons. I also unlocked Viper. So I have that available to play. I didn't know it started at level 80, though. Although I guess I probably should have figured it did. After what Genevieve in the chat said yesterday about it being available for a while now. So that's on me. So I'm going to have to spend some time with it. But yeah, let's get back to the main story. I keep coming on later and later, too. I need to stop doing that. Let's go do this blue exclamation point, too. Make sure I don't miss unlocking a dungeon or something that I'll need later. Hope you had a nice Saturday. I was having a good one. I finally beat the final boss in Elden Ring. I summoned 2 people to help me out with it. They were awesome. I did just enough to stay out of the way. Yeah. I feel pretty good, though. And then, well, news happened. And it's kind of important news that you just can't ignore. Oh, nice. Some free XP while I'm in Dawntrail. I like that. I'll take that. But yeah, I'm... As the stream title would suggest, I'm just tired of being a part of so much American history. Can we just be boring? Can the world just calm down? But I think, yeah, we're helping out the Pelu Pelu tribe first. I don't know if that was the right decision or not, but it's this decision I made. And we need to meet up with our squad. Alright. May I introduce you to our most dependable companion, the alpaca? These animals can traverse Urkapacha's steep mountain trails as if they were gentle fields, and all while carrying heavy loads. Our merchants would be lost without them. So they fill much the same niche as our chocobos back home. You don't have alpacas in Eorzea? Alpacas are native to Yogg-Togral. Eorzea has its chocobos, and the eastern lands have their horses. Why go to the trouble of breeding another pack beast in a place which ill suits its qualities and where it is not needed anyway? But must we ride these little monsters? I get the impression you aren't fond of alpacas. When I was small and being a bit naughty, I went around pulling on their wool. One of them spat on me, and it was the foulest stench you can imagine. I see. What do they like to ride? Alpacas bred as mounts are inquisitive and docile. Even those without experience find them easy to handle. We're really doing this then. So, was my information useful to you? Yes, very helpful, even if it wasn't what I wanted to hear. Good, I'll take my payment now. You want me to pay you? Well, yeah, service is rendered. I guess I should have expected as much from a Pelu merchant. Let me see what I have on me. The Pelu Pelu value the act of spreading joy through trade, as you should know. They take pride in making deals that benefit both parties. only there were more people like them in the world. Here you go, a fair price for your fair advice. Yes, I made a trade with the third promise herself. My friends will never believe this. I shall be on my way now. I wish you safe travels. Off you go then, and thank you. Oh boy. I better not get spit on again. You brought that on yourself. Remain calm and gentle, and so will they. I'm still not happy about this, but if we need to ride alpacas to reach Urkopacha, then that's what we'll do. Just ride the thing. Saddle up and ride out. It's gotta be,
Turali poets of yore sang of a mountain that would stand tall, even should all other lands sink beneath the sea.
Too real, man. Too real.
Indomitable and eternal, it arises from Urkopacha, the 100 peaks of time. Of all the beasts which crawl and fly, only the legendary Valigarmanda could hope to disturb the summit's serene majesty. Yet, with that flying calamity imprisoned by the Dawnser, what great feat remains for those who would claim the throne?
Who knows, narrator man?
So this is Urkopacha. I've never actually been here before.
The air is so crisp and clear.
Mountains everywhere you look.
That one massive peak in particular has quite the presence. It puts me in mind of Som-Al.
That is Workor Sormor, the tallest mountain in Yogg-Tural. Its sheer height makes it an imposing climb. But there are other reasons the ambitious keep their distance.
Oh? Do
Probably
tell.
dangerous monsters. Yes? No? Bandits?
Where to begin?
Excuse me, but you're Wuk Lamat, are you not? I hadn't thought to encounter one of the Dawn's promise here of all places.
Another kitty cat.
But I should introduce myself. I am Bol Nok, a weaver by trade.
Do you make
Well met,
serapes?
Bonok. We're on our way to Watrunpelo.
Truly, I've just come from there, as it happens. I'd asked the Pelu Pelu who sell me their wool to give me a tour of their alpaca ranch. The head rancher and I shared a bottle of mezcal while he explained the finer points of wool production.
Mezcal, is that a local beverage?
It's an Urkopacha specialty. A spirit made from distilled agave heart juice.
Yes, and it must have done wonders for my mood, for I tripled my usual order of alpaca wool. They did offer me a discount, though, so it wasn't a bad deal in the end.
As long as
But
you use
listen
it
to
all.
me, boring you with my tedious stories. I will leave you before you are lulled to sleep. Goodbye, and safe travels. Oh, silly me. I almost forgot to say the thing I actually wanted to say. Peace for Tural. I agree with your vision, Third Promise. You have my support.
Oh, it's
in your
always
bid
nice to
for
meet a
the
fan.
throne.
I gather from his tale we would be foolish to underestimate Pelu Pelu merchants.
Yes, they do more than run the markets in Tuliyola. Pelu Pelu peddlers can be found everywhere in Tural, traveling from place to place on their sturdy alpacas. They are effusive and engaging speakers, And many's the customer who's been talked into spending more than they bargained for.
They won't find this customer so easily charmed.
Didn't you already fall for one of them, though? Eh. It's neither here nor there.
Down the path! Off the main road! Don't get lost!
It's right there.
Not that way. That way. Oh, come on. I gotta ride around on this for a little bit. This just makes me happy. Oh, this is the battle theme music of my childhood, man. This and Chrono Cross. That makes me so happy. Oh, that makes me so happy. I wasn't expecting that. This is it. Watching Pello, home of the Pelu Pelu. Wuk-Lamat should have arrived before us. Yeah, she's right there. That's not good. You've come all this way for the right of succession. Oh, so this means I'm exchanging words with the future Dawn servant. Please, the outcome is far from decided, but it is a possibility. How fortunate, then, that I deal in cloaks woven from especially luxurious alpaca wool. Such a garment would look magnificent when draped over the shoulders of our budding ruler. Why do they have beaks? And a nation's ruler should dress for her best for her adoring people, yes? Finery for our finest lady. That's right. Come, third promise. My well-stocked shelves are but a few steps away. Finest lady? I like the sound of that. Alright, I suppose a quick look wouldn't hurt. What did we just talk about? Erenville, when did you... Ah, a Shatona from far-off Jacques Tural. Northern winters are bitterly cold affairs, I'm told. I cannot imagine how you survive them without a lovely warm cloak of quality alpaca wool. No, thank you. I'm not in need of new clothes at the moment, and neither is the third promise. Perhaps another time. Of course, of course. My shop door is always open. Flattery will get you everywhere. You were saying something about not being easily charmed? I was just... As I mentioned previously, the Pelu people live for bringing happiness through trade. They won't cheat you or sell you defective goods. They will, however, disarm you with their deft turns of phrase, and unwitting customers like Wuk-Lamat fall prey to this affable approach time and time again. Your only recourse is a clear and firm refusal. They won't pursue the matter should you make your disinterest plain. A valuable insight into the minds of the Pelu Pelu. Let us all take Erenville's words of caution to heart. I got some Gildeburn. I got more. I gotta be close to a level up now. Yep, really close. About 400,000. Wuk-Lamat is ready to search out the Dawn Servant's Elector. Not my finest moment, I'll admit, but now that we're here, let's do what we came to do. Find the Elector. Allow me to propose a strategy, then. Krile, Alice, and I will speak with the merchants. Wuk-Lamat, you, and Erenville might try... Yep. Allow me to propose a strategy, then. Krile, Alice, and I will speak with the merchants. Wuk-Lamat, you, and Erenville might try approaching travelers and passers-by. Pray investigate any of the other establishments which catch your eye. Should we learn aught of use, let us relay it to the third promise. Okay. Okay. Well, first things first, let's attune. $300 three-headed mount, you say? That's disgusting. I don't want that mount. Distillery worker. The Dawn Servant's elector? Ah, I thought you were a new face in town. Here for the right of succession, I take it. Me? I don't much care who sits on the throne, so long as they keep Tyral peaceful. People tend not to be in the mood to relax and sip our excellent mezcal once arrows and spears start flying, if you know what I mean. Speaking of which, would you like a cup? A joy shared is a joy doubled, I say. Nah, I'm on the clock, man. Oh, right, yes, you were asking about the elector business. Being but freshly returned from my trading route, I've heard that there's a contest afoot, but not much else. Our head ledger, Tobley, could probably tell you more about it. Skywatcher, meteorologist. What happened to the music? I just wanted to unlock you. Also want to unlock you. Cool. Alright. Moving on. Got something in my eye. Impatient Porter. Electors? Oh yes, I've heard all about the right of succession. They're looking to put a new ruler on the throne, eh? Personally, I'm rooting for Zoral Jah. If the first promise wins, he'll look to expand our sphere of influence. That means access to more resources and more customers. In the thousands column, potentially. So many new trading opportunities to spread happiness far and wide. Others have been coming around to my way of thinking, so I have begun crafting goods inspired by the resilient sun. Would you care to purchase something? Please just answer my question. Very well. You said you wanted to know about the Elector. I could help you, but I won't. I could tell you're no supporter of Zoral Jah or his policies. No, I'm not a big fan of expansionist ideals. Mablu. Hello there, I'm Mablu. Did you have a question for me? Indeed I do. Sorry, I don't know about any electors. You should take a moment to see our prized alpacas before you leave, though. Oh, but be sure to admire them from a respectable distance. Get too close, and our nervous darlings may be tempted to spit on you. And that stuff stinks. It happened to a visiting buyer not so long ago. Tobley, that's the head rancher, was so mad at me for not giving a proper warning. No one makes a mistake without Tobley noticing. He knows everything that happens on this ranch. Oh, I guess we need to talk to Tobley then, huh? But first... Oh, whoops. But first... Yeah. This alone was worth me buying the expansion, or the collector's, or digital, whatever, edition. You really have to watch yourself around these silver-tongued peddlers. I almost bought a bottle of mezcal and a stack of blankets, and then there was this enchanting ornament. Anyway, I did manage to learn that Tobley is the man to talk to about the contest. Now, if only they'd share where this head ledger of theirs is to be found. Really? He's also the head rancher. Well, the alpaca ranch is not far from here. I say we pay it a visit before the others return. Why, before they return, why not wait for them to return and we can all go together? I was just over here. Why are you making me bounce back and forth? It's a waste of time. Alright. That is a lot of alpacas. Still, we know the head ledger could be here somewhere. I can't let fear deter me. No, not to say that I'm scared, of course. Uh-huh. Sure. Excuse me, is one of the workers Tobley? Tobley? Oh yes, he likes to mingle with the ranch hands and keep an eye on things. I can't tell you which one he is, though. You can't? Is this part of the contest? All I can say is that Tobley often mentions his favorite pungent subject. He also can't resist a profitable trade, though who among us could, am I right? Still, if you bring him a very good deal, he might let his identity slip. So it's like a game. Easy enough. All you have to do is offer Tobley a deal he can't ignore. No problem at all. Well, you say that. Well, maybe one problem. I don't think my purse is deep enough to pay everyone we think might be Tobley. Let's ask some questions first to narrow down the field. Great. We can meet back here to share our impressions. Oh, Matt Blue again. All right. Well, obviously I'm not Tobley. I mean, oops. I shouldn't have said that. You're meant to find out for yourself who Tobley is, or if an elector is even in the village at all. Good luck. Ah, a visitor from across the salt, if I'm not mistaken. Be warned, the alpacas will spit if you startle them. I suggest you keep your movements slow and deliberate. You think I might be Tobley? Ah, well, maybe I am. All I will say is that, in this village, none have reared more alpacas than I. Am I Tobley? Yes, that's me. Excellent work from the Third Promise and her entourage. Sharp instincts. Shall we commence the rite of succession? That ain't you. You can't fool me. I see we're both done with our interrogations, so who do you think it is? I have my suspicions, but let's hear your pick. The diligent Enchant. A 1 in 3 chance. Ah, the workers so intent on stable chores. I had my eye on that one too. Time to rip the mask off our mystery ranch hand, so to speak. We know it's you, Tobley, and to prove it, I propose a deal. A generous sum of coin for confirmation of your true identity. An offer I gladly accept. As you have correctly guessed, I am indeed Tobley, head ledger of Wakin-Pello, and head rancher of the family ranch. I am also one of Gulul Jaya's chosen electors. Gulul Jaja, whatever. Aha! In a place featured in the Tuliolol saga, just as we thought. I was right to trust in your instincts, and I wager this won't be the last time. She found you out fair and square, Tobley. And I'm glad she did. Would have been a pity had her bid ended here. Sure. Why not?
Deducing the Dunservant's elector was the first step of the feat. Too simple a task for this aspiring ruler, eh?
Right. Not hard at all.
I don't hate him as much as I hate the other one.
Zorolja.
I am told the head ledger, Tobley, is to be found here.
You have to guess which one of us is Tobley. That's part of the test.
You're Tobley.
Without even asking a single question. Very
Just with
impressive
intimidation,
indeed.
that's all.
With that amusing prologue out of the way, we can proceed to the actual challenge. Per the Dunservant's instructions, I was free to devise any manner of feat. I considered a number of possibilities in the 10th column. But I think I have a good one.
Please don't be math.
You must go forth and capture for me an alpaca.
What's the catch?
While I've not had the best experiences with alpacas, aren't they generally docile creatures? That doesn't sound like much of a challenge.
Bring out the example! This is a special kind of alpaca. Would you please approach the animal, Third Promise?
Who? Me? Well, it should stay calm if I stay calm, right? That's what Erinville said.
Well, you're the one who opened your mouth and said it would be pretty easy. Right in the nose.
The little monster spat on me! Oh, it stinks. I can't.
Oh, dramatic.
Alpacas are paradoxical creatures, being both extremely curious and extremely cowardly. Press your luck when they're frightened, and you'll get a face full of spit, as you've all just witnessed. Has an awful
She didn't
stench
threaten
to
it, though. She just
decoration.
walked towards it.
The globs contain half-digested food, you see, making it an effective deterrent against perceived threats.
Wild valley breed like this one are especially timid and can therefore be quick to lash out. They're also especially hardy.
Indeed. We take the rugged wild alpacas and breed them with our gentle domesticated stock. This produces the strong but beatable pack animals prized by our traveling merchants.
That's all well and good, but did I need to bathe an alpaca spit for you to make your point?
So,
I agree.
the task is to catch a wild alpaca.
That is correct. But be warned that it is a feat easier said than done. I suggest you prepare well before you enter the valley where the creatures dwell. And by you,
I hope
mean
he was
the
trying to
aliens
rhyme there.
only.
Well with dwell.
Allies are not permitted to assist with the catching. The alpacas will help me judge which of you is worthy of receiving a keystone.
So I'm to chase down a fluffy, spitting demon, and that somehow proves I'm fit to rule?
As I said, the Dawn Servant granted me the freedom to decide my challenge. And when you reach the end of the rite, I dare say you will understand why I chose what I chose.
Very cryptic.
Very well. This won't take long.
Wait! Didn't I warn you this was easier said than done? There are preparations to be made, factors to consider.
A beast is a beast. All yield to strength.
So far, this experience has done absolutely nothing to improve my opinion of alpacas. But that doesn't mean I can't do this. Revolting spit aside, they're just another animal.
True.
Are you all right, Orclamart? We thought we heard you scream.
The third promise does not scream. It was more of a startled yelp.
Scream, in other words.
It was a scream.
Did you find the Elector?
Oh, we certainly did.
He's standing right there. Whatever. I had to go and wash that nasty stuff off my face. I think I got all of it. But would you mind taking a sniff for me just to make sure? The stench has ruined my sense of smell. Hey, I saw that look. Guess it's weird. Yeah, I am level 91. Erenville wishes to discuss the feat of gold. As Wicklemont helped demonstrate, the Valley alpacas are wary of people. Getting close enough to catch one will not be an easy task. You might have warned me about that earlier. I have enough trouble with tame alpacas. How do you expect me to wrangle a wild one? With the proper saddle, we infuse the leather with a relaxing scent that soothes the spitting beast. Wonderful. Give me one of those, then. Have you perhaps forgotten we are a clan of merchants? If you want a taming saddle, then you'll need to find a saddler and make them an offer. They don't come cheap, of course. Crafting a saddle will cost you the equivalent of 10 pel in the thousands column. You mean 10,000 pel? I don't have that kind of coin. I do. Converting to gil, that comes around 1 million or so. Mayhap if we all pitch in. No, this is my feat to accomplish. I wouldn't feel right about having others pay the cost. I'll find the money. Somehow. In that case... He just gives one to her. Oh. That basket of wool is worth the sum you paid me earlier. 1 pel in the hundreds column. Beginning with the wool, you can trade for ever more valuable goods until you have something suitable to bargain with for the saddle. That's a nice gesture, but you think I can turn 100 pel into 1 million? That's 10,000 times more. You gotta barter. We need 10,000 pel, not 1 million, so we're looking at 100 times more. Oh, right, I panicked and got it confused with Alphinaud's million gil. If you could get to 1 million pel, it'd kind of pay for the rest of the trip. I'm not so sure about this trading idea. You were almost talked into buying a cloak you didn't need mere moments after you arrived. But I hate it when you're right. Then let me help you with your deal-making. Oh, hello again. Mablu, I work here as a ranch hand, but I've also learned a lot about the peddler profession. It's alright if I aid them now, yes? I guided the claimants towards the first step of the feat like you asked. As long as Wicklemat goes alone to capture her alpaca, she is free to accept assistance from whomever she likes. Hooray! Let's see about getting you that saddle then, Third Promise. I don't know why you made your offer, but I could use an ally with a beak for bargains. Welcome aboard, Mablu. Should the rest of us stay behind, perhaps? It may be easier to haggle over prices without so many voices chiming in. I agree. Yes, stay here and pitch in with the ranch work. With Mablu gone, I'll need extra hands to tend to the alpacas. Gladly, although I think you should go with Luke Lamont. You've seen markets and bazaars the world over, and surely have sage advice to share. Not really. In that case, you should also hold on to the alpaca wool. If it's misplaced or soiled in some way, you'll have nothing to bargain with. Alright. As if I'd do such a thing, but I'll leave the wool with him anyway. The better to keep my hands free. I don't understand the need for that animation. To begin, I suggest we try trading the wool to Havli the saddler. He won't agree to the deal, of course, but it'll give us an idea of how much he'll accept for his wares. It's always good to have a starting point somewhere. Wait for it. Alright, Havley. How much you gonna rip us off for? I mean trade for. Something I can do for you? We've come to bargain. I need one of your special taming saddles to catch a wild alpaca. A saddle, is it? And how will you be paying for it? With this basket of fine alpaca wool. Not impressed. What use does a saddle maker have for wool? Besides, this would barely cover the cost of a single strap buckle. Offer me something I actually want. Like leather. And what might that be? Mezcal. I like to nurse a cup at day's end while I inspect my finished work. Bring me a jug of quality stuff and you've got yourself a deal. This bodes well for us, Third Promise. Such mezcal can be had for only 5 pel in the thousands column. 5,000 pel. Hold on. Did you say Third Promise? Then my offer has changed. The saddle is going to cost you a jug of premium mezcal, aged 3 years at least. 3 years? That stuff is valued at 10,000 pel or more. Why have you doubled the price? Because I must support the man of ambition who will see my business prosper. Zor Jah will go to war, and his cavalry will need saddles. Lots of saddles. It's nothing personal. I accidentally clicked away. Well, them's the breaks, I suppose. Can't say that I blame him. I'm known for championing peace, and peace is unlikely to bring him more customers. On the contrary, you need to look at it differently. Those of our grandparents' generation remember the dark days when the clans were at war. Many of these Pelu pray for your victory, Wuklamant. The younger ones, though, to them, strife and bloodshed are as children's stories. They think themselves safe from those horrors and take the peace we now enjoy for granted. Still, others are unsatisfied with this quiet prosperity and crave the future the Second Promise envisions. They've become obsessed with innovations like the dirigibles that have made trade swift and easy. Then you have those like Havli, convinced that the First Promise's plans for the conquest will afford them opportunities for great profit. But what about you, Mablu? Aren't you of the younger generation? At least a year or two younger than me, I'd say. Oh, I was raised on the old tales. I've memorized the accounts of what it was like when the Yakui ruled our village. That's why I offered to help. I want you to become Dawn's servant, to keep our nation from going back to the way it was. Well then, I guess I'd better make sure I win the contest. But the type of mezcal the saddle maker wants is so very expensive. Weren't we expecting to need 10,000 pel from the outset? Nothing's changed, we just need to get on with it. I may not have a head for trade or the stomach for alpacas, but I won't give up with a piece of Tuliol on the line. These nouns, man. Then neither will I. We will make you Dawn servant. Aiming for that 10,000 pel jug right away will only bring us failure and frustration. So let's first try exchanging the wool for anything even a touch more valuable. The trick is to find someone who needs alpaca wool and is willing to trade at a loss to acquire it. Someone who supports your bid for the throne, for instance. Like you? Huh? Yeah, we got him. There's also somebody else that wanted her. Of course, the Weaver! Bolnock was his name, I believe. He went out of his way to say he agreed with my vision, and he was here to buy wool. I think I remember the direction he was going, but for now, let's head back to the road where we first met him. Somebody else in the town, though, wasn't there? One of the three? This is the spot. After Bolnock talked to us, he walked off to the south. Then he was probably going to Ikuvlu's inn. Most visitors to Wakenpelo end up staying there. Let's go and check, shall we? We shall. dun 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 dun. Big time fan. Can I have that basket? Certainly. Thanks. Now let's see if we can turn a profit, as we're standing right in front of him saying that. Bolnock, I'm glad we found you. Are you interested in making a trade? Third promise, you wish to do business with me? Might I ask what this is all about? We just want to rip you off. I see. So the goal is to turn that basket of wool into a jug of 3-year-old premium mezcal. Then allow me to invest in your efforts. Neat. Peace in Tyrol is what allows me to cross freely into the lands of my suppliers. Naturally, I would prefer that one pledge to preserve that peace win the throne. Thus do I humbly offer you this wool poncho, a small token that I pray contributes to your victory. Thanks. Oh, that's fine craftsmanship. A garment like that would easily fetch 5 pel in the hundreds column. That's very generous, Bolnock. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. I have every faith in you, Third Promise. May fortune bless your dealings. Thanks. I can't believe you quintupled your investment with your first deal. We're off to a spectacular start. Only because he remembered our weaver friend. All I did was hand over the wool. That's not true. The connections you build with people are vital. This is one of the most fundamental precepts of trading, one which you've instinctively mastered. You think so? I know so. Now, let's take our 500 pel poncho and trade it for something even more valuable. Here, you take the poncho. If I lost it somehow, Erenville would never let me hear the end of it. And it also kind of spelled the end of this venture. All set. Our next deal is waiting to be found. Nice. Success! You traded a 100 pel basket of alpaca wool for a 500 pel wool poncho. Neat. Well, I will be right back. I have to go check on my laundry. So enjoy the dulcet tones. am back. Laundry wasn't ready to switch over, but I did get me a cookie. So, who's the real winner? This bag that I can't get open, that's the winner. Thank you, Genevieve. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Shouldn't have taken a bite. Leveraging connections is a sound strategy, but we should also consider supply and demand. An individual in urgent need of a good poncho will offer more than a merchant simply looking to stock his shelves. That makes sense, but how do we know if someone needs a poncho? I don't like either of those options. They aren't wearing one? That's the obvious answer, isn't it? We look for a person without a poncho and hope they're eager to buy ours. Yeah, that's how that works. Yes, there you go. We find the demand for our supply. So where should we begin our search for prospective buyers? There are any number of places, but we could do worse than starting right here at the inn. There might be interested travelers. It's actually not a bad idea. Who here needs a poncho? A lot of Mamuja hardly wearing anything to begin with. Those are probably Lanceguard or sellswords. Mamuja who soldier for a living prefer not to wear much above the waist. It hampers their movements. So even if they have bared shoulders, Mamuja carrying arms can be struck off the list. Yeah. Oh, we're in first-person mode. Got it. He already has one. Let's go with this guy. That's a Lanceguard, probably dropped by the inn to take a break between patrols. Oops. Not that one. That one? That Mamuja is armed. Could be a Dopro courier. I've seen them flying their weivras. And those types aren't fond of excessive clothing either. He's already wearing one, so let's go with this one. Let's see. No coat or cloak, but also no weapon? Oh, we might have a winner. Wow. Ho there, friend. You're not a mercenary by trade, right? I was curious about your bold choice of dress, or lack thereof. Oh, it was no choice of mine. Thanks, Genevieve. Thanks for popping by. Have a great night. I was attacked by beasts on the way here and barely escaped with my scales intact. My coat was not so lucky. I'm actually a toolmaker from Tuliolal, and was dressed quite smartly. All the better to show the Pelu I am a man who takes pride in his appearance and therefore his work as well. But now look at me. Well, sir, this is your lucky day. Is it? You get a poncho. Yay. What a splendid poncho. This would be perfect replacement for the coat I lost. We'd be willing to part with it if you'd like to make a trade. For one of your fine tools, perhaps? What about this hatchet? I crafted it myself and will vouch for its quality. Interesting trade. The blade looks sharp, the haft well made. I'd value it 1 pel in the thousands column. Oh-ho! From 500 to 1,000, we have a deal. Wonderful! A fine garment such as this should put me on even footing with any Pelu merchant. Like the eponymous owner of Miplu's mate garden, for one. Her field hands use hatchets to harvest the mate, and I thought to impress her with the tool I sold you. No matter, I have other wares to sell. Glad I am to have met you. Oof. Did you hear that? We've already found our next buyer. To Miplu's mate garden we go. Yes, but it's a fair distance on foot. We should take alpacas. These ones will be the calm type, right? Yeah, they're domesticated. Excellent trade. Success! You traded a 500 pel wool poncho for a 1,000 pel hatchet. Okay. Well, at least we're making progress, I suppose. Well done recognizing that toolmaker as a potential customer. If you've a mind to change professions, you'd make an excellent merchant. What I know, that was like my 4th choice. Or no, it was my 3rd choice, right? Because I did the one with the sword and shield, then I did the other one with the weapon, and then... Yeah, it was my 3rd choice. That wasn't great. Alright, let's see. Okay, yeah, there's enough room. Yay! Alright, and then I want to get this out of my inventory. I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Wickelmot steals herself for the ride to find your next trading partner. Before we get moving, you should be the one to hold this. Yay. With that, I suppose we should hop on the alpaca's Mablu and has so kindly provided. Sure. Ready to go? Let's mount up. Alright, let's rock and roll. And it's off to the mate fields we go. Mate, mate, Maddie, I don't know. Please don't spit, please don't spit. You'll be fine. These ones are accustomed to people. And you're behind its head. I still don't trust them. You're behind its head. You have a knack for riding no matter what you say. Without our alpaca friends, we Pelu would never have become traveling merchants. Can you imagine walking all the way across Chiral? I swear that mountain is too tall to be real. Oh, we're gonna have to go up it eventually. Warkor Zamor, wasn't that the name? A forbidding sight, isn't it? One I've never appreciated up close. You have to take the long way around the cliffs to get there, to the highlands belonging to the Yakhui. Oh, hey, I have over 100,000 health now. So, Mablu, you said you were learning about the peddler profession. You don't care for ranch work? No, I love it. I love working with alpacas. But becoming a peddler has always been a dream of mine. It's just I'm not sure I have the talent for it. If I can help you buy the taming saddle, though, then it'd be proof that I can do this after all. In that case, you'd best get ready to be a merchant. Oh, nice, we get exploration XP too. Look, we're almost there. Oh, we also have cactuars here. Lovely. See, that wasn't so bad. We made it, and without a single smelly incident. I sent the alpacas back to Ikuviu's inn, so we'll walk along the main road when we return to the village. Speaking of roads to travel, you were adopted by the Dawn Servant, weren't you, Third Promise? That I was. Then perhaps you understand. I was an orphan too, you see. Tobley took me in. He took in all the ranch hands, actually. All of them? Yes, and everyone works hard at their chores, grateful for the opportunity to repay the head ledger's generosity. Yet here I am, the only one wanting to go off and be a merchant. So? I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you this. We need to keep trading things for your saddle if you're to prepare for the feat of gold. Ugh. As it's mate harvesting season, they can't have too many quality hatchets. Add to that Wuklamot's way with people, and we should have no trouble making a favorable deal. That's Miplu herself over there. Pass the hatchet to the Third Promise, and let's get to bargaining. When your friend texts you a random TikTok that you don't want to watch. You have a little axe for me? I do. It's called a hatchet. not an axe. Thanks. Now to see what we can get for it. You're Miplu, the owner of these fields. I have a mind to trade if you're interested. Why is it that I like her more than I like her? There's probably something to that. Well, the third promise. The third promise. I might be convinced to entertain a proposal. What do you have on offer? This hatchet, forged by a seasoned artisan, the razor edge of this exceptional tool will make light work of your crops. The quality is acceptable, I suppose. I offer you a large sack of mate leaves in exchange. A sack of mate leaves is valued at 1 pel in the thousands column, the same price as the hatchet. This deal would bring us no closer to the Mescal. If I may, Mistress Miplu, it's harvesting season, is it not? Does not the demand for hatchets afford them a higher value? It is indeed the season, which is why I procured an ample batch of tools well in advance. Aw, shoot. We've missed the window for demand in that case. We'll have to fall back on connections. Think of it this way. A generous deal here will put you in the third promise's good graces. Good gracious? Goodness gracious. Surely that's worthy of consideration. I do not wish to give offense, but I must tell you that I stand with the second promise. His innovations will improve every aspect of our lives, I believe, including farming, and I will no longer have need of hatchets. I assure you that I have nothing but respect for Wookalamat. That is why I'm prepared to purchase a spare hatchet at a fair price. I suppose it is fair, given your reasons, but we ourselves would be no better off for the transaction. How about this, then? If we were to help bring in your harvest, would you give us a better deal? As a matter of fact, I would. Until Kawana's reforms are come about, I can always use more hands in the fields. Then you can go ahead and add our labor to the bargain. Added value to tip the scales. How could I have forgotten one of the most basic rules of trading? You can rest here if you like, Mablu. We have mate to gather. That is so weird. Oh no, I'm helping too. Off to the fields then, and mind you pick the healthy leaves. I'll take 5 good bundles from each of you. 5? 5? How about 1? How about half of 1? I could do half of 1. 5 is a lot of work. Boop. This one's also growing beautifully. I don't even know if I'm calling these, if I'm pronouncing the names of these things right. I don't even know if they're based off of real stuff. Great. That was so hard. You've brought me some leaves, then. I have 5 whole bundles. An acceptable harvest. We'll see how your companions fared before I make any decisions, though. Here, we've brought our share as well. Thank you, Third Promise. This is more than enough to hold up your end of the bargain. Now it's time to honor mine. After adding the value of your labor to the price of the hatchet, I am prepared to offer you a full sack of our highest grade mate leaves. Premium, mate. Premium, mate? No, premium, mate. Bought at the shop, 1 sack of those leaves could cost no less than 5 pel in the thousands column. Cool. Then we can bid farewell to this hatchet. I'll give it a good home. Talk of the contest aside, I'm glad we could come to a mutually agreeable trade. As am I. All the best with the rest of your harvest. And we turn on our heels and leave. Be gone. Could I please get some voice acting here? Ma Blue, what's wrong? It's as I was saying before, even after everything Tobley's done for me, I'm planning to abandon it all and become a merchant. But then I needed your help after forgetting a basic rule of trade. How can I expect Tobley to accept my decision then? Have you mentioned your plans to leave? Not exactly. I wanted to prove I could succeed as a peddler before I declared my intentions. I seek to follow in my father's footsteps, but not because he expects it of me. I want to preserve Tyrall's peace, and becoming Dawn Servant happens to be the best way to do it. You should live a life of your own choosing, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tobley held the same opinion. So talk to him. You're right. It's better to find out for sure than worry over what he might say. Thank you for the advice. But first... Oh, shoot. My bad. What's next, then? We tried to trade our tea leaves for something halfway to 10,000 pel? No, I think we're close enough now. I say we go straight for the premium mezcal. Bargain our way into double the value, eh? Think you can do it? Trust me, I will make this trade work. I admire you, Third Promise. That you're holding your own against such strong competition for the throne is inspiring. Am I really holding my own against Kawana and Zoralja? Zoralja, I think is how I'm supposed to pronounce that? I don't remember. I mean, of course I am. I'm Wuklamot of the Dawn's Promise, after all. Oh boy! Wuklamot has her eye on a jug of premium mezcal. Before we go, let me give you the mate leaves. I don't need to risk proving Erenville's point. Alright. Ready then? Our next stop is the Mezcal Distillery. Alright. Oh, you can just warp there, huh? Yep. We're gonna do that. Alright, I will be right back one more time to go check on the old laundry. Oof. All right. Let's continue on. We'll want to speak with a man by the name of Gobley. Even among his fellow distillers, he's regarded as a master of the craft. He knows what the value of the product is, so if we're to convince him to trade for twice what the leaves are worth, we're going to need targeted information. That means asking around and taking in the gossip. If you could talk to people here in the distillery, perhaps Wuklamad could do the same at the village entrance. Meanwhile, I'll head to the north side and see what I can find. Me? I'm a chef from Tuliolal. I often come here to buy Gobley's Mescal, the finest in Tyrol, according to my customers. He always brings out a jug during our dealings, but I can't handle the stuff too well myself. I take small sips, not wanting to be impolite, you understand, but still end up so addled as to agree to whatever price he quotes me. It would be nice to have less, potent refreshments during such conversations, else I might have to seriously reconsider our arrangement. He gets his marks drunk, and he takes them for all they're worth. Gobley might be adept at hand at distilling, but he's got no sense when it comes to appearances. Rumor has it he's been invited to the palace for business negotiations. If he presents himself to the court wearing his usual rumpled attire, though, he'll be laughed out of Sunperch. Interesting. There's not much I can say about Gobley, but I can tell you what Gobley's been saying. The other day, he was muttering about monsters prowling around Agave Jaws. That's the field where they gather ingredients for the Mescal. Their presence has made it harder to procure said ingredients and thus driven up the price of his product. A boon, some might argue, but it's hard to celebrate when it affects the work as it does. Can't rightly bring joy to people if you can't keep making the thing they love. That's right. So what did you find out? He's got a court date. He's got a problem in his field. Oh, we can make use of all those tidbits. The deal is as good as sealed. As for me, I found out where Gobley is working. There's a millstone at the top of the slope behind the distillery. You go on ahead, and I'll bring Wuklamad. Jiminy Christmas. I'd like a cutscene with, like, some voice acting so I can eat my cookie. Hi, Gobley. You have business with me, sir? Why don't we talk down below so as not to distract the alpaca from his work? Please voice acting, please voice acting, please voice acting, please voice acting. Frick. Now what's this about? Keep it brief, if you would. I'm a busy man. We're in the market for a three-year-old jug of premium Mescal, assuming you have any on hand, that is. Ah, an excellent choice. I must warn you, though, it doesn't come cheap. We don't have Pell, but we can offer a sack of mate leaves in exchange. It's top-grade stuff, like the Mescal. No deal. Mate leaves are well and good, but I don't have any use for them. No deal? Just like that? Still, I'd hate to send you away empty-handed. Why don't we sit and chat a while over a cup of Mescal? Don't do it. Now the real bargaining begins. Which of our cards do you want to play first? Gobley's invitation to the palace. Let's do that one first. Let's hold on to that one. We need to consider our timing. Monsters in the agave fields? Let's hold on to that one. Alright, fine. The Hubigos Chiefs for strong taste, distaste for strong drink. I appreciate your hospitality, but I'm afraid I can't hold my drink. I've heard one of your regular customers, a Hubigo chef, is the same. Seeing as not everyone can enjoy mezcal, I wonder if you might benefit from having other refreshments to offer. Something like mate tea, for instance, and brewed from the finest leaves, of course. Ah, you're right. Absolutely right. I had noticed a growing reluctance on the part of my Hubigo friend, but did not realize I myself was to blame. I must endeavor to be a better host. Still, even with that added value in mind, no sack of leaves is worth the mezcal you're after. Sure it is. You must think. Should we offer to kill the monsters causing them trouble? Not yet. We'll keep that card up our sleeve until we need it. As I expect you're aware, the rite of succession is currently taking place. That's why the third promise has graced us with her presence. When the contest is decided, the subsequent ascension ceremony and banquet will be a prestigious affair. If your mezcal were to be served there, it would bring your distillery immeasurable fame. Wait, could it be that your rumored invitation to the palace is to discuss that very possibility? As a matter of fact, yes, I must admit I'm still reeling from the abruptness of it all. It would be a great honor and opportunity if I could secure the deal. Well, I should think your exceptional mezcal should speak for itself. That said, there's no such thing as being too prepared, and first impressions last. You'll want to be wearing your very best when you walk into Volokshonsa. It would be such a shame to miss the chance of a lifetime simply for want of proper garments. What's wrong with my clothes? That it would. Are you saying you have garments to offer? Something ideal for court? We have no garments on hand, I'm afraid, but we can provide you with the next best thing. An introduction to a weaver. His name is Bulnak, and his works are highly regarded in Tuliolal. Networking. As a supporter of Wuklamat and keen observer of palace politics, he will doubtless be happy to guide you in the selection of an outfit to fit this golden occasion. That is certainly a tempting proposal, and one of which I should like to take full advantage, but the scales still aren't quite balancing. Do it. Play the trump card. Say, weren't there monsters running amok in Agave Jaws? That's a problem we could easily solve for you. Truly? I would be most grateful for your immediate assistance. I was resigned to hiring sellswords to clear them out. Factoring in that saved expense and an introduction to a trusted weaver, this is shaping up to be a sound bargain. All right, you have a deal. Yes, I knew you'd come around. Give us a moment, and we will take care of those prowling creatures. In the meantime, I'll use the time to pen an introductory letter to Bulnak. The fields you're looking for are just north of Wakampello. Be safe. As my character cracks his neck and gets ready. Finally, something. Something for me to do. Yes, ESPN, what would you like with me? Ah, good, the Cubs lost again. To the Cardinals of all teams. And they just swept the Orioles. Like, what the heck is that about? Just what the heck is going on around here? Should have chosen the high road, because that's how you get to Scotland. That should be Agave Jaws just over there. This will go faster if we split up. Come and find me once you finish clearing out your share of those pests. Oh boy. Doom, 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 doom. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Prickly barb mole? No! It's really only 3? Whatevs. Whatevsy nevsy. I know I'm wasting it on this, but I like looking at it. It's like Garen's ultimate from League of Legends. Another game you need to stay away from if you don't like toxic communities. I clicked on it though, whatever. That didn't do as much damage as I was hoping. Let me guess, she's having trouble with one. Compared to the creatures I hunted with Papa, this is no challenge at all. Come on, let's head back to the distillery. All that is left is to give Ma Blue the sack of leaves so she can seal the deal. Oh, okay. A Chaba Gadan? Oh, look, an event. I'm gonna do it. What is with all the AoEs? Stop it. My goodness. If anybody got heals and they want to pop them on me, I won't mind it. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. I'll swap those. Kill the Forlorn, you fools! Do it! Oops. Oh, I was out of that. Don't give me that malarkey. Oh, we did we kill the... Darn, we didn't kill the Forlorn in time. Bummer! Those monsters were no trouble for you, it seems. Now, if I could just have the sack of leaves. What do you do with them? Thank you for looking after our precious trading goods. You're welcome. Your monster problem has been resolved, Master Gobbly. Here are the mate leaves and a written introduction to Bulnock as agreed. Oh? Then the deal is done. Here, your jug of premium mezcal, aged 3 years. Please accept it with my compliments. Said to them and it turned to... Alright. Yes, we finally have the mezcal. Great work, especially you, Mablu. You are the one that inspired me to come to this far, Third Promise, but let's not celebrate until we have the saddle in hand. Mablu, is it? You drive a hard bargain, young peddler. I look forward to doing business with you in the future. He called her a peddler. Thank you, but truth be told, I'm just a ranch hand, for now. Should I ever become a proper merchant, though, I'll be back to strike more deals with you. Right. I think you could do it. Woohoo! Excessive heat warding is through tomorrow. But, like, we're still in the high 90s for all next week, so, like, it's not like that's going away. I want the heat dome to go away. I don't want it to move. I don't want anybody else to get it. I just want it to go away. Success! You traded a 5,000 pel sack of top-grade mate leaves for a 10,000 pel jug of premium mezcal. Ooh. Even at the palace, I don't think I've held a 10,000 pel jug of anything before. My hands won't stop shaking. Here, you'd better hold on to it until we get to the saddle maker. Really? Alright. My character's held an item that's sold on the market, is what it's called here. For a million? So, I don't know. Ah, can you imagine if we dropped it and had to start all over again? Luckily, Havley's place is not far. We just need to head across the plaza. This is it, the trade we've been working towards. Are those the saddles? I hope not. I hope that's just the leather that he's... Phew, still in one piece. Right, time to make our deal. Get your tools ready, saddler. We've brought your precious mezcal. Wait, you actually got your hands on a jug? But you had nothing, a few measly clumps of wool. What we had was an aspiring trader with a gift for negotiation. Duh, shucks. Although I'd sooner aid no claimant but Zoro Jha, I cannot go against the guiding principles of the Pelu Pelu. The trade is a fair one. I will craft your saddle, Third Promise. Great! Stay and wait if you like. I have all the requisite materials, so this won't take long. That's right. Try to screw us, will you? Well, we'll kind of just let you screw us. Get you the thing that costs more than what the saddle costs, but... It is what it is. Aw, we don't get to see the saddle? Your commission is ready. Catching a wild alpaca is never a simple affair, but you'll have an easier time of it with one of my saddles. A little full of yourself there, aren't you, there, son? Now, if you don't mind, I have other work that needs finishing. Ah, I can taste that smooth mezcal already. did it! The saddle is ours! Well, you still have to go catch an alpaca. And to think we started out with only a 100-pel basket of alpaca wool. Mablu, you are going to be an incredible merchant. Thank you. It makes me so glad to hear you say that, Third Promise. We got what we came for, so let's return to the ranch. The others will be waiting. Neat. Success! You traded a 10,000-pel jug of premium mezcal for a taming saddle. And I'm so bored, my eyes might start blinking at different rates. In MMOs, I'm like Jacksepticeye's Bonk when he plays through the Souls games. And me Bonk, me Smash. That's what I do. You've acquired the saddle, then? Yes, and thanks in no small part to Mablu. Before you rush off to catch an alpaca, though, let me teach you how to saddle one. I'll bring out one of our wild-born friends so you can practice. Face your fears, young one. I know, this is something I need to learn. Face your fears. Conquer them. Great sunken gods, I did it! You certainly did. He hardly seemed bothered, much less inclined to spit, as if he was completely accepting of Wuklamot's touch. That is because of the singular scent with which the saddle has been coated. Alpacas find it very soothing. You know, I've never taken a good long look at one of you before, but you're actually kind of cute. Aww. You're only now noticing that? Zarel Jah, he's back. Having done exactly what he set out to do. That alpaca he's brought, is it just me or is it glowing? I've heard tales of such a beast. They say the golden alpaca lives a solitary existence deep within the valley, where it shuns the company of both man and its own kind. Which makes it kind of easy to... Alright. How did he manage to snare a prize like that? A beast knows its betters. Faced with overwhelming strength, it will yield rather than risk death. An apt illustration of how greatly the power of the first promise exceeds yours, Wuklamot. You don't need to be so rude. Strength alone won't win him our father's throne. I'll be the one to find the Golden City, and then Tyral can remain at peace. An everlasting desire for peace can only be forged in the fires of war. To unite as one, the people must be taught. They must suffer the horror and the hopelessness firsthand. Exhaustion from prolonged conflict. The wages of war's merciless nature. These are what moved the clans to join in the founding of Tuliulal all those years ago. Consider the younger generation of this village. Since birth have they basked in unbroken harmony, and behold, they regard war not as tragedy, but opportunity. Thus does the resilient son seek to provide education. He offers much-needed lessons in the realities of conquest and a renewed appreciation for peacetime. That's an upside-down way to look at things. 'Tis true that war's misery breeds a longing for peace. But I have seen with mine own eyes what becomes of an empire forged through the violence you propose, the rebellions it spawned, and the ruins it left behind. The Garlean Empire was a congregation of simpletons. No, it wasn't. The oppressed fought back against their oppressors, as well they should. Men are not beasts. Only a fool would seek to rule over all with the threat of force alone. This is why Gululjaja did not elevate the Mamuja, why he treated all clans with equal respect. However, the first promise has his gaze fixed upon more distant horizons. He would unite not only Tuliulal, but the star in its entirety. What? Why? I need not explain myself to you. Oh, well done indeed. The first promise has completed the feat of gold with an appropriately golden flourish. May I present to you your much-deserved keystone. Just takes it and walks off. He's always been like that, never sharing his innermost thoughts with me or even with Kona. It's like we're not even family. He doesn't see you that way because he's born and you're adopted. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. You're this red-headed stepchild. I'll ponder Zoroja and his mysteries later. Right now, I need to think about finishing the Feat of Gold. I have my saddle. I've practiced how to use it. So lead on to where the wild alpacas roam. The valley of Oronkonka is northwest of here. Come on, everyone. Even if we can't enter ourselves, we can see Wuklamot off on her hunt. They... And I guess off we go then. No, don't. Don't do it. Thank you. Watch, are we gonna get like a platinum one or something? More XP for father. I wonder. Nah, there is no. Is there an auto run key? I don't know. I'll be right back though. Need to check on that old laundry. Alright, not done yet. And neither are we! I can do this. I know I can. Cheer on Wuklamot as she marshals her courage to attempt the harrowing task of capturing a wild alpaca.
Good luck there, Promise!
Yes!
Thanks. I'll need it. Truth be told, still not sure about alpacas. I'd rather not go near one if I can help it. But if I'm to rule this nation, then I'll need to learn how to live with them. Tural is their home too.
That's one way to look at it.
Right. I'm off.
Or does she get like a blue
So
or
shall
a
we
pink
head
one?
back to the ranch, or
I'm staying here.
As will I. Wooklamart is alone in this. The least we can do is stand watch and await her return.
Aw, man. Thought they were gonna say that.
It may be a while yet. Help me pitch the tent.
Man, I have to do everything. While they just sit there and chat away.
Trust a
That's
Gleaner
killer
to
on the
come
knees.
prepared for anything.
What's a gleaner?
someone whose job it is to travel the world and procure uncommon things for their employers. Erenville specializes in finding animals, I believe.
But aren't you a Shitona from Shaktural? Why did you cross the salt?
You got bored.
When I was much younger, the thought of leaving Tural never even occurred to me. But then, some years ago, my mentor tasked me with a difficult hunt. Something I could never find, she said, so long as I clung to the familiar. She suggested that I leave home, leave Tural, and join the Gleaners of Sharlayan. As one of their number, I could experience the world, immerse myself in myriad cultures and customs, see the many faces of nature. And once I had learned what is truly important, I would find that which I seek. My younger self took those words to heart, and off I went to become a gleaner.
Her words alone moved you to leave behind everything you'd ever known? You must have great respect for your mentor.
As it happens, gleaner work was much to my liking, and I all but forgot why I had pursued it in the first place. Yet, events conspired to put me back on the trail I'd abandoned.
Wait, are you saying you were tasked with finding the City of Gold?
Grandpa?
I was. And though my hunt is now entangled with the right of succession, I mean to see it through.
Well then, I understand completely. We all have our reasons for seeking the Golden City. Which is all the more reason for us to work together.
We already were.
Just so.
Whatever. Whatever.
She should have been back by now. What if something's happened to her? We need to tell Tobli and arrange a search party.
Nah.
Wait. Do you hear that?
I did it.
Not as cool as the one your brother got, I'm just saying.
You're utterly spent, and small wonder.
Well done, Third Promise.
The ranch isn't going anywhere. Take a rest in the tent.
I think I will. Thank you all for believing in me.
Oh, sure. Not like we had much choice in the matter, it was the story. It is what it is. I'm so relieved the third promise came back to us safely, and the alpaca she tamed is a healthy-looking beast. Surely this will be enough to satisfy the feat of gold. Probably should have gotten some dye, but money talks. Wukelamat still seems a bit unsteady on her feet, hardly surprising after she spent the night chasing alpacas. You know what will melt away fatigue like magic, though? Mate tea! I'll run to the ranch and get our pot brewing. That way you can take your time, and the tea will be ready when you arrive. As Mablu so wisely suggested, we shall set a slower pace for our exhausted third promise. Bye, everyone. You know, you say, well, whatever. I want to listen to some tunes. That is my favorite battle music of any of the Final Fantasies. This one, and then 10. Probably my top two. Came back ahead of the others, did you? I should hurry along with the tea, then. Wukelamat can't be that far behind. I don't know, I was on a mountain, they were on foot, so... Could be anyone's guess. Weird. Ooh, that tea really is magical. I feel better already. I see you've become more comfortable around our fuzzy friends. Watching this one taught me a lot about alpacas. What grasses and fruits they eat, what sounds they react to, their adorable little quirks. I guess I've grown kind of fond of them. After school special. Welcome back, Third Promise. Accomplished the feat of gold, have you? Yes, there is no mistaking a valley alpaca. I commend you on your success. Well done. Yes, we did it. Clearly. Although I couldn't find a shiny one like Zoral Ja did. I'd be surprised if you had. Golden alpacas are born but once every few decades. They are elusive, solitary creatures that are rarely seen, much less captured, thanks to their innate physical and magical gifts. Only a single other person is known to have caught one before, that being Golul Jaja himself. But Ba was chasing alpacas too? So my grandfather's stories say. It was before the founding of Tuliolal, in a time when the mountain giants, the Yokui, held our people in thrall. Compelled by their overlords, our forebears would ride their alpaca mounts to the highlands to deliver gifts of food and other tributes. Those were wretched days, to hear grandfather tell it. Then along came the young Golul Jaja, unburdened by the mantle of Dawn Servant. Our people were amazed by his imposing two-headed figure, equal to the Yokui in stature, and puzzled by his entourage of mismatched companions. Some trembled in fear, believing a new conqueror had come. Yet Golul Jaja showed no such inclinations. He sat and spoke with us, sipping from the cups of mate tea we offered him, and grew somber when he learned of our plight. None could have anticipated what their visitor decided to do next. Golul Jaja ascended the cliffs to face the giants and freed the Pelu Pelu from the Yokui subjugation. He then turned an appraising eye upon our riders and proposed we take to the road to peddle our beverages. The suggestion seemed obvious for one who traveled as he did, intent on fostering amity between the clans. Sure. So it was that a few words from Golul Jaja transformed us into a clan of itinerant merchants. I've never heard the bond Papa forged with the Pelu Pelu spoken of in that way before. The saga is not so detailed. Probably with good reason. Then you may not know that Golul Jaja sought a sure-footed guide for his trek up into the highlands. Thus did he capture a golden alpaca. So both my brother and my father caught the rarest of creatures, while an ordinary one was the best I could manage. The feat required no more than that, Third Promise, and you brought back a perfectly wonderful beast. Mablu's right. You're a perfectly wonderful beast. If anyone's ordinary, it's me. Not only did you accomplish the feat of gold, you also made many trades and brought joy to many people in true Pelu Pelu fashion. I sorely doubt your sibling could have achieved the same result. No, he couldn't. You should be proud of the accomplishments, which earned you your keystone. No way he could have done that. So this is what they look like. Go on, set it in the tablet.
Does it have Minecraft on it? How about Hearthstone? Oh man, it just has Doodle Jump.
A perfect fit. That leaves 6 more. Hear that? 6. Give you an idea how long you're going to be doing this MSQ? You're well on your way, Third Promise. We'd have been lost without you, Mablu. Thanks to you, I learned so much about the Pelu people and your customs. It might seem obvious, but I've come to realize the importance of properly knowing something. It was because I didn't understand alpacas that I was uncomfortable around them. I'm thankful to you as well, Luke Lamont. You've given me the courage to say what I wasn't sure I could ever say. Tobli, I want to leave the ranch and become a merchant. I appreciate everything you've done for me, and I've loved every moment caring for the alpacas. But this is something I need to do. I need to walk my own path and make my own trades. As your parent, allow me to say one thing. I've always tried to give my wards lives filled with as much happiness as I could provide, yet never once have I wanted that to be the only happiness you knew. You have my blessing to walk any path you choose, Mablu. It gladdens me to hear you found a calling you wish to pursue with such passion. You will make an exceptional peddler, I'm sure of it. Thank you, Tobli. What did I tell you, Mablu? There's one last thing I can help you with, Third Promise. You need to find the Golden City, right? That's the end goal. Then I suggest you talk to the Yakhui. Okay. They once ruled over far more than just Urkopacha and the Pelu Pelu. 1,000 years ago, they were the overlords of Yogg-Toroil and all its peoples. During that era, the Pelu Pelu were commanded to search for a city of gold. They scoured every corner of the continent, but never found any trace of that fabled place. But if they didn't find anything, what could the Yakhui have to tell us? Where to not look? They may not have found it, but the fact that they thought to look for it at all makes me curious. Perhaps there's value in delving into how the legend originated. We lose nothing from asking the question. Besides, if we're determined to follow the path of the saga...
Need to go up that mountain sometime.
We'll be visiting the giants eventually.
That's what I said.
I'm assuming that's like the last area you go to. Places like that usually are. Oh, Kryl, I have a question I'd been meaning to ask, and since we finished with the feat, where did you acquire that earring? My earring? Do you recognize it? She asked you first. Yes, pieces just like it first became fashionable in Yogg-Toroil around 20 years ago. Since then, it's become common to wear one as a charm for safe travel. 20 years ago, right about the time my grandfather made his journey. Yet the Dawn Servant implied the earring was connected to the Golden City in some way. Surely there was more to its significance than simple fashion. If you want to know how it first came to be crafted, I could try to find out. Seeing as it's a regular seller for many merchants, I'm curious to learn about it myself. I would appreciate that very much, thank you. Jumping feet first into the peddler business, eh, Mablu? Seems like it. Right then, let's head back to Tuliolal and get ready to search for the next elector. Farewell for now, and thanks for all your help. I will become Dawn Servant, so make sure you set aside your best mezcal for the occasion. She has a fearsome opponent in that brother of hers. He even brought a golden alpaca to heal. But you've heard Zoro-Ja's supporters talk. They might see opportunity in his expansionist ambitions, but they find the man himself intimidating. Terrifying, even. Whereas I've grown to love Wuk-Lamat. Everyone she meets will come to love her too, and that's why she'll win the throne. You might be right, Mablu. You might be right. Itchy nose. It feels good to have the Feet of Gold safely under our belt, even if my victory pales beside Zoro-Ja and his shiny golden alpaca. I know I shouldn't let it bother me, and gods know you've all been so supportive, but I want to be strong, or wise, like my brothers, to be a promise that people respect. Which is not likely if I stand here carrying on and on about things. Let's move on. Back to Zhvaliev Tai with us. The contest has hardly begun. But is it better to be respected or loved? And I'm not just doing the Office meme. Like, that's the question. Alright, we'll do this blue exclamation mark here. Oh, come on. Oh, come on! Actually, I'll do this off stream. I'm going to end stream there. Thank you all for being here. I won't be here tomorrow because that's tomorrow is the day I record and edit my podcast. So please listen to that. It's called the Mad Cave Podcast. I talk about Utah sports and video games occasionally. And I'll probably have a very special message at the end of it in regards to what happened today, just because you can't avoid what happened today. You can't just stick your head in the sand. I'll give you guys a sneak peek into what I'm going to say, but basically there's no room for that in any civilized society, let alone America. In America, we settle our political differences at the polls. We make our voices heard at the polls. That's it. If you don't like what happened at the polls, make your voice heard. Send a letter to your representative, an email with your thoughts laid out. No accusatory tones, no threats. Be an adult. Don't fall for the trolls online. Don't fall for rhetoric that leans way too far to either side. Just remember, if you're an American and you're hearing this, we're all Americans, no matter where we came from. This country is unique in world history. It is. There's a reason the world watches our country. Let's not bungle that because we're so siloed in our own beliefs. Let's just all remember we're Americans. We settle our differences at the polls. It's okay to think differently. If somebody thinks differently than you, that's a good thing. Groupthink gets you nowhere. It's an echo chamber and improvement can't be had. So make your voice heard at the polls. If the voting doesn't go your way, make sure you send an email to the representative that got elected that you didn't want, telling them what you would like to see. That's how we do it. We don't do it with bullets. We don't do it with threats. And we don't do it like what happened today. All right, with that message, I'm hopping off. Have a lovely